Folkadelic Acid Blues, the history of rock and roll. And here's your host, Tin Man.
I'm talking about the results of what happened in '64 and how it changed the music industry entirely. I'm sure you've heard of the Yardbirds. I'm sure you've heard of the Rolling Stones. I'm sure you have heard of Gary and the Pacemakers and the Who. And they were all part, and Pink Floyd too, can't leave them out. Because they started in about 65, right along with the Who. 65. It's interesting. The Beatles came over in 64, and then in 65 it seemed like anybody with a British accent who could play guitar was signed to a record contract. Lucky for us that most of them could play. And I have a confession, for many years I tried to do a British accent. And I find myself sometimes when I'm singing my songs, I will throw in an accent just to make the song sound better. Shh, that's a dirty secret. Nobody's supposed to know that. But yeah, I have incorporated the British accent because I'm an American and I'm a guitar player, and we will steal from anybody if it helps. Actually, that's only partly true. There's an old story that the Beatles, how they got famous or how they learned to play, was they played the B-sides of records. They practiced playing the B-sides. They wouldn't play them in public, but they would perform them and practice them, because that taught you more how to play songs. And it was brilliant. It worked. So I would tell you all out there to go grab a bunch of records and flip them over to the B-sides and play them, but most of you out there who listen to this don't know what a B-side is and wouldn't know what you're supposed to flip. Yeah, and I see you. I see what you're flipping, but it ain't a record. Anyway, the British invasion happened in between 65 and forever, because we still have British bands. And the great thing about the British bands, when they came over here, it's not what they had from their country that they showed the American people. No. It was what they brought over that they found from here and showed it back to us. I'm talking about good old-fashioned blues. See, the blues were very big in England. And a lot of these guys, the Yardbirds and Pink Floyd, the Who, the Stones, all based in blues. And they loved the old blues artists like, Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters and B.B. King. And they brought them out. And they introduced them to the American people, who really didn't even know they existed. Not at that time. But they opened our eyes. And that's kind of a trade-off between America and Britain, We share things. Anyway, this is your host, the Tin Man, with Folkadelic Acid Blues And today we're talking about the British invasion and what it brought. And a lot of what they brought was they just opened us up to what was here all along, the blues. Because rock and roll is nothing but the blues played a little louder. And you can quote me on that. Anyway, I'm out the door. I'm going to go grab some lunch. And a scotch and coffee. Because it's my show and I can do what I want. Grab your favorite beverage and catch you later. Every time you piss off a liberal, an angel gets its wings.
To watch Bird's Eye View, my show, on Tuesday.
An HDR production. Funkadelic Acid Blues. The history of rock and roll. This is the journey of JTTG.
And who the hell cares?
Peter, knock it off. Don't be a Peter. Watch the journey of JTTG. An HDR production. Remember to hit the like button. Subscribe. Remember to hit the like button. Little bell. Subscribe and hit the little bell. It'll just make my day. Catch you later. I think I got it. I think I've got it. What's that?